If it wasn't already obvious, I like anime. Some of my favorite stories come from anime and manga, and I've spent more of my life than I'm prepared to admit absorbing these pieces of media. I also like video games, so you'd think that putting an anime, manga, and a video game together would be right up my alley, wouldn't you? But unfortunately, it's not always the case. A lot of marketing teams like to take something that's starting to make money, grab it by its shirt, and then drag it through every dirty back alley and muddy street that they can to beat every last coin out of it. So, here's a list of 5 animes with completely unnecessary game tie-ins. For this list, I'm going anything newer than, like, Dreamcast GameCube era, because anything before that, and I could make the entire list out of Super Nintendo games.
Number 5. Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament, PS2. This game is garbage. For a show that's about guys fighting each other that has an entire arc devoted to this tournament setting, you'd hope that a fighting game that utilizes all the characters from that arc would be good. However, it's actually just really bad. The inputs are stupid and convoluted, and they require you to use the D-pad so you lose all the skin on your stupid thumb. There's a clear imbalance in characters when one of the one-off opponent characters is the best in the game by leagues, and you can't even use an arcade stick controller on it. It had such potential, but if you can't make the characters do the thing that they're supposed to do, then it's bad. It's bad. Number 4. Hidamari Sketch 365 Dokodemo Sugoroku for Nintendo DS. Do you like Mario Party but don't like playing with other people? Do you wish the minigames were simpler and more boring? Do you want the game board to be basic and uninteresting at best and monotonous and grueling at worst? Do you want one of the main mechanics of the game to be based around rock, paper, scissors? Then stop playing party games because what you want is Sudoku or some other boring shit. Or buy this game, they both give you the same result. You play alone because it's boring. Number 3. K-On! Hokago Live for the PSP. It's hard to make daily life shows into games, let's establish that fact right off the bat. Most of the time they tend to turn into visual novels, which then follow the plot of the series. The problem is that I've already watched the series, so I don't want to just watch it again in text form. When I saw that K-On's game wasn't a VN, I was surprised. When I saw that it was a rhythm game that uses the same old tired-ass formula for all the second-rate rhythm games that have come out since Guitar Freaks, I wasn't surprised. It uses the songs from the series, which is great if that's the only music you want to play. It's boring, it's unimaginative, and it's lazy. Number 2. One Piece Pirates Carnival for the GameCube and PS2. It may seem like I'm hating on party games, but that's because I'm hating on cash-grabby, lazy design crap party games. Pirates Carnival at least doesn't use the roll a die or draw a card and move that many spaces mechanic so much as the same mechanic that you kind of get in Reversey, where when you move onto a tile or put a thing down, you flip it over and then do a thing. In that respect, and that one alone, is this game any good. The minigames are bland, there's not a lot of interaction with the other players unless you really try hard to do so, and to top it off, the American release of the game had a bunch of its content slashed because when it was released in Japan, they were way ahead of America in the show, and 4Kids, the bastards, decided that anything that wasn't included in their way slower English releases at that time had to be cut, probably to save the players from being confused. This game is garbage. Though apparently the GameCube release is rated a little bit higher than the PS2 release. Number 1. 7 Deadly Sins, Unjust Sin for the Nintendo 3DS. I love this series more than I love most people. I've got a partially finished Gouther cosplay on my sewing machine right now. I can't describe just how good this series is, which is why it's such a shame that the game is trash. I wanted this game to be an adventure game with an overworld map that you can explore to visit areas of the world and gain party members like you did in the show. However, what I got was Mortal Kombat Mythology's Sub-Zero style side-scrolling beat-em-up crap. Hordes of the same enemy show up until a boss comes, then you beat the boss and move on to the next area and lather, rinse, repeat. This is also compounded by the fact that there's so many different, character errors. Like Diane, for instance, the giantess, is only like 1.5 times the size of a normal guy in this game, and there's a lot of out-of-character stuff with Gauther's fighting style. Plus, if you play as Hawk, then you're as powerful as the rest of the 7 deadly sins, because you can't not balance it that way. It's sad because this game could have been so much cooler than just another side-scrolling beat-em-up.
So thanks for listening to my completely unbiased list of games that I don't think should have existed. Can you think of any others that were just completely unnecessary cash grabs, or were just bad adaptations? Let me know in the comments, see if I've missed any. Or tell me whether you disagree and think that any of the games that I've mentioned are actually really good. Thank you very much for watching, you guys. I super appreciate it. If you haven't already liked, shared, and subscribed, then maybe you can think about doing so. You can also follow my socials, that's the Facebook and Twitter, down in the description box. And if you feel so inclined, you might also take a look at my Patreon page and throw some support my direction. Thanks very much, and I'll see you next time.
But Sub-Zero Sword Art Online PS4, because Sword Art Online is objectively bullshit and everything about it is dumb.